John is kind of doing his thing.
No, he's not doing his thing.
Well,
John's retired.
Well,
You can't say John's doing his thing, but John quit.
I said was
quit. Is that
doing
right?
his maybe not, maybe
John's not
right?
maybe John quit. Like call it what it is.
Wow.
John quit.
Y'all just gonna say that?
Why do you
Is
say
that the word choice? Why is that the word
Bro, I
choice?
said this on my YouTube channel.
John retired.
I said if John doesn't fight this guy, he quit. Let me explain to you. Oh man, this is good. All right. So here we go. Do you remember when John Jones and I were fighting? Now, all that stuff from Counterpunch came up. Where it was me telling John he won't change. Me telling John all this stuff. In that video, John says, there's no way you can compete with me. He goes, because every day you get a little older. He said, if we run, if we jump, I'm 28 years old, you're 37. And every day you get closer to 38. He says, I will see in the octagon a 38-year-old man while I'm just entering into my prime. Right? Those are words.
Stung. They sting. Because you got to think about it. Like
even when I'm thinking, but so yes, they did because I'm thinking to myself, he's right. He's a kid. He's still fresh. He's young. I've been through an entire wrestling career, and now I'm doing this. I'm working my ass off, and I've never been better than he beat me in Anaheim that night. That was the best version of Daniel Cormier. No matter how many fights I won, he beat me that night. But those words are now the exact same words that can be spoken to him on the other side. Where Tom Aspinall, if they did a counterpunch, could say, every morning I see, when you wake up, you see a 37-year-old man that's lived a hard life and partied, that's done all these things. How can you keep up with me? And John thought to himself, when the words were related to him, he said, I'm out. I'm not doing it. That's why I said he quit.
Okay, now let me
I ain't taking it back.
But now let me ask you something. Because he's a winner, he also knows his body. So, is it a smart move? You may say quit, but is it? He
could have said that long time ago. He could have said that long time ago. Because you know why he didn't? You want to know why he didn't?
Those decisions are hard.
But you want to know why he didn't? Because he was thinking about doing it. He was trying to convince himself that he still could put in the work necessary to go beat this dude.
Damn, dude, this dude's speaking facts,
Was
bro.
the truth. He was still, the reason he didn't say in November, it would have been a fairy tale ending. And you know what else I think? He probably got, John Jones and Stipe fought when there was an interim champion. John Jones fought Stipe Miocic when Tom Aspinall was the interim champion. How many times do you get a champion that comes back after a long time? He doesn't fight the interim champ. He fights a dude that hasn't fought for 3 years. He probably said, hey, give me this one as a legacy, and I'll give you the other one. And then when he fought that dude, Stipe, and got it done, he was like, okay, I can fight this dude. And then Tom beat the shit out of Derek Lewis. Tom beat up on Curtis Blades. He knocked Sergey head off. Yeah. Nobody can go with him. And he's like, do I have to put... Because he worked hard. He knew how hard he had to work to beat me. And the world's telling him, hey, man, this dude's going to beat you. He's going to knock you out. This guy's this. And he probably thought to himself, I don't know that I can make myself go to that place again. I'm rich. I know how hard it's going to be to prepare myself to beat him. I don't want to do it. So, yeah. He should have did it in November. If he'd have walked away, we said, wow, what an ending to beat the greatest heavyweight of all time for your last fight. But instead he waited, and he waited, and he waited. And that's where the mistake was.
Right. I mean, you hit something right there that's really powerful. It's and that's what I think true competitors have to have, is that not only respect for yourself, but that honesty with yourself.
Yes.
In making that decision. And I remember you and I talked when, I'm sure there was a couple of opportunities floated your way. Like, hey, we're struggling here. We might need you to step in and come back. And I remember you and I talked, and you said, this is why I decided to walk away.
I don't have it.
Because I just couldn't go there.
I can't train the way I want to train.
Right.
I knew that at the end of the fight, I should have been done too. When my back went out against Derek Lewis, I should have been done. Because once the back goes out, everything starts to break down like a car. Yeah. It's like your back, your neck. Yeah. I should have stopped. But the money got too good. So I kept fighting.
Yeah,
But
so-
again, I would go fight the dude. And I said this the other, I said, if I was John Jones, as scary as this was to fight Tom Aspinall, I would have done it already. 41 years old, I would have fought him already. And if he'd beat me, it is what it is. Yeah, but he's undefeated, right? So he gets to keep that. We have to watch ourselves. Every event, either get beat, knocked out, finished, something happens in that little run, that highlight video that plays. I think Jones is so afraid of that visual that he said, I ain't doing it. Because if this dude knocks me out,
It's like Anderson Silva Weidman.
if this dude knocks me out, I will never get rid of this idea that he knocked me out. You know what's the craziest thing? Since the fight will never happen, gun to my head, I would have said John Jones will beat him right now. I would have said, he'll probably beat him right now. Because guess why? Tom has never been pushed into those championship rounds.
Right.
But if Tom gets to those once he gets to those championship rounds, even now, say Cyril Gane pushes him 25 minutes. And if he beats Cyril Gane, but he learns to go 25 minutes where that first time you feel that, I got to get up off that stool after the third round. Yo, Tom hasn't gotten off the stool for a third round.
When we saw that Francis Ngannou Stipe.
Exactly. That's the comp. Francis, when he fought Stipe and he went to try to knock him out, by the middle of the fight, Francis looking like he saw a ghost.
Right.
Francis like breathing out of his mouth and nose. How you breathe out of your mouth and nose at the same time? Francis doesn't manage to create a whole different way of breathing. And I love Francis.
Hey, don't talk about my brother like that.
Come on.
Yeah.
We talked about it. He laughed at it himself. Francis breathing out of his nose and mouth at the same time. He's like, shit, I'm exhausted. Big Frank like exhausted. But then when he fought Cyril, Big Frank knew, leave a little bit in the tank.
Yeah.
I got to make sure I'm okay. Then by the third round, he wrestling.
Yeah.
He's so fresh that he wrestling because he learned how to go 25 minutes. You needed to fight Tom now when he doesn't have that experience, especially as John Jones.
Where he's so-called super dangerous, because you're right, he hasn't, and I've said that, and I agree with 100%. I feel like John's game plan in that fight would be to counter him, but counter him through wrestling.
And just grab him and hold on to him.
And make him work.
There's nothing, even if you're just in the clinch with Tom Aspinall, dragging on him, holding him, pushing him in, kneeing him, grabbing his leg. When he defends, come back up to his body. Yeah. Grab his leg when he defends, come back up to his body. And just keep him in the clinch for 5-10 minutes. Right. It's like there's a danger factor. See, even with Joaquin Buckley, 7.5 minutes, I thought, unbelievable that he 24 minutes in, he still had power. Yeah. Most dudes like that, though, have about 7 to 8 minutes to be super dangerous.
Right.
And then they start to the danger level is like not as high.
Yeah, and I think people don't understand how effective that, just how
it's
exhausting that is when psychologically you come to thump.
You want to fight, but I'm just grabbing you.
You come to throw hands, and this guy, when your emotion starts going and your heart and everything is blood is pumping, you just want to punch, and this person's grabbing on you. You can't get him off.
And then your arms start to blow up.
Exactly.
Like
all of these things just really start. And I don't think people understand just how powerful that is and how exhausting
it's one of the hardest parts of fighting.
Right.